Hello, you guys are listening to The Pen. I am your host, Jacob Prail. We still got the Spinnaker Swiss Army knife himself and the office aficionado, Drew McDonald, with us. And back from his exile is your girl's favorite DJ, DJ McCatherine. I hope you learned that exile is not fun. This is what happens on this show when you don't be on. But Hunter may get the boot pretty soon, and by the end of this episode, who knows, he might hit the exile if he doesn't get on in time. So let's go ahead and get into some pretty big news that's happened. This upcoming week, I did an episode with my boys, the twins, Anthony and Dimitri, just all hockey talk. So we're not really going to talk hockey. If you need your hockey fix, go to that episode. But I think first things first is that Patrick Mahomes got paid $503 million in the bank for him. He has like $140 million injury clause. He has a no trade clause, and he has a bunch of guaranteeing mechanisms that Adam Schefter was talking about, which I have no idea what the hell that means, but he got paid. Bring out the Brinks trucks, baby, because the Chiefs ain't going to be able to pay anybody else now. I don't know who said it on ESPN, but I think Adam Schefter said, he was like, this is a team-friendly deal. I don't know in what world paying a guy $500 million is a team-friendly deal off your cap.
I want to say that I heard the same thing, but for some reason it opened their salary cap.
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't, but it did, and I don't know how, I don't know why, but if they can find a way to make it, and they can pay people money, and they can keep Sammy Watkins,
Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill gonna have to get paid, bro. He's essential to that offense.
Oh yeah, but if they can find a way to keep that money. Oh, Travis Kelce too, right?
Yeah, I don't know. He's gonna. I think has a few more years left on his deal because they re-signed him during the Alex Smith era. But his contract's up soon, and George Kittle's about to reset the whole tight end market. George Kittle himself has made being a tight end sexy again. I think honestly, the Chiefs had no choice. You're not going to let go a generational talent in Patrick Mahomes, and in the 2 years that he's been a starter, he took you to the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl and won you the Super Bowl.
MVP.
And MVP. This is all what he's done in 2 years as a starter. That's kind of nuts.
I mean, you got to pay the players. I mean, shoot.
But now you got to worry about how you're going to fit in everybody else. You still got a defense that's always been in shambles, but somehow will clutch up when it needs to be. You got a wide receiver core that needs to get paid plus Kelce, and then now you got a rookie running back, which if Damian Williams decides he wants to hold out for a better contract, you can kiss his ass goodbye. Because Clyde Edwards-Helaire would they drafted Edwards-Helaire, right? Yeah, they did. Yeah. Anyways, moving on. Next piece of NFL news, Raheem Mostert, the star running back from the 49ers, who had a huge breakout because of injuries, has demanded a trade because the 49ers were like, we're not going to pay you because apparently the 49ers still love Jerick McKinnon. Jerick McKinnon hasn't played since he was in Minnesota because he's always been injured.
That's fine. Let him go. You
still got Tevin Coleman, former Falcon, and you still got Jeff Wilson, I think is his name. I think honestly, if Mostert wants to leave, he could really benefit a team like Tampa. He could benefit. If the Jags want to move on from Fournette, boom. You got a running back right there. The Texans can possibly get a better –
Texans would
have a nice 1-2 combo with David Johnson. If David Johnson gets hurt, you have Mostert. They got, you got options.
Mm-hmm. He'd be a great fit anywhere. His speed and his agility.
Oh yeah, he was a stud. He was a stud
for any offense.
Once he got the carries and behind that offensive line, he was a stud, man. I'm surprised he didn't want to re-sign him. And I would have dropped Jerick McKinnon, but apparently I think Kyle Shanahan wants to see how he can use McKinnon more so than Mostert. But even then, I'm kind of shocked they weren't going to re-sign him. Unless Mostert was asking for a ridiculous amount of money, but even then, you would think the guy has enough business sense to not demand that type of money. But moving on from the NFL, actually one more piece of NFL news. The Jaguars are Duval Jags have announced that they will host games at 25% capacity. All fans will have to wear face coverings, which you should already be doing, folks. And they are going to go to a cashless payment system. I think they're going to work on ticketing for less contact at the gates. I don't know how they're going to do that. They might take the Miami idea and do timed entries, where if you're in the lower bowl, like you come in an hour before kickoff. If you're in the upper deck, you come in 30 minutes before kickoff. If you're a suite level person, you come in an hour and a half, 45 minutes, whatever the case may be. I saw that season ticket holders get their money back and shit like that. Moving on a bit, before we get into big news, just catching up, MLS has been going on. Just want to inform everybody that that's happening. I really don't care, but hey, MLS is an American sport that nobody gives a shit about. You would think, moving on from that point, they're playing in Orlando. The NWSL, the Women's Soccer League, started up in, I think it's the IMG Academy last week. And then WNBA's playing 20 games at the IMG Academy too. They start up soon. I'm only going to want to watch because I want to see Sabrina Ionescu play, see how she does. Moving on, teams, everything's starting to get into gear. We have training camps. We have things starting the ball's rolling.
NBA bubble.
NBA bubble, which we are going to talk about a little bit later after we talk about a topic first. That's going to be huge. It's already entertaining as hell. We already had one woman tweet out that she said she got invited to the NBA bubble. Dude, these under 25-year-old dudes just need to suck it up for a month and a half and just play ball. Like, don't be inviting chicks over when you're going to jeopardize the team. Like, don't be that selfish just because you got to get it. You got to get your nut. You can't be doing that out here. I understand you're paid millions of dollars and you think you can do what you want, but I swear if you've ruined, like Rudy Gobert is possibly hated by everybody in the world because he single-handedly shut down every league with one positive test that ended up transmitting to like 5 other players. And you want to do that and bring a girl over and she ends up having COVID and you get it. And the next thing you know, the bubble burst. The world's going to hate you because you took away the NBA from us. We want to see King James play the Clippers. And that's what I want.
We want to see King James win his title.
Facts. Moving on. We're going to talk about the bubble a little bit later. Moving on from that point. UFC Fight Island was last night. That was kind of cool. Now, I'm not going to lie. Abu Dhabi apparently is a great host. Jorge Masvidal got his shit clapped. Unanimous decision. Dana White came out and I think it was against the Volkanovski and Holloway fight. He criticized the judges. And he was like, our judges are basically trash. We need to get new ones. That's great, Dana White. Go ahead and undermine your employers and the consistency that you have in your own league because you think your judges are trash. I don't think that's what a commissioner should do. I think you got to stand by the decisions that you hired people to do. I think you just got to stick by it. But that happened. It was a great card. Some great fights, even in the prelims. There were some good ones. I liked it a lot.
I didn't get a chance to watch it. I heard the main event did not live up to its expectations.
Masvidal has only had 3 fights, and he's 3-0, and he got a championship bout. That dude was not ready for a championship bout at all.
It went all. What is it? Is it 5 rounds?
Yeah, championship rounds are 5. He went all the way. He didn't get KO'd, but he lost by unanimous decision. Which means if you lose by unanimous decision, that just means you got owned the entire match by all 3 judges. But I don't watch the pay-per-views just because I will see all the reactions on Twitter. But it also depends.
I heard it wasn't good. I heard it was 30 minutes of hugging.
It just depends on the card, honestly. But it doesn't really matter to me. I'm not a huge UFC guy, so it doesn't really pique my interest. What is there? Liverpool is Premier League champions. I don't think we said that on the last show, so congratulations to them. Chelsea beat Man City for them, and that's how they became Premier League champions. Because in England, it's based off a point system. They don't have a real playoff format. It's just points. And then I think that's it for our updates on sports, really. Baseball's back. They start next Thursday, right? No. Right? 23rd?
Yes.
They come back. Pumped. The NHL, we did not mention this on my last show with the guys because the schedule wasn't released. There's going to be 6 hockey games a day starting August 1st. You guys, I'm just going to stay in a little hole, and I'm going to watch hockey all day. If you want to know where I'm going to be, you can catch me. I'll send you boys the address, and you guys can come over and watch it with me. But don't ask me to do anything because I am watching hockey all effing day. Become Cartman when he decides to play World of Warcraft on his computer where he's like this. He just gets super fat. It's going to be something. But I watched all this hockey. Moving on to me and Drew's Degenerate NASCAR Gambling Corner. So today was Kentucky. And Drew, how'd you do?
It's been rough. I've been on a 3-week drought, making no money. Just sucked. But I've learned who not to pick. That's how I've learned who not to pick. That is Ricky Stenhouse Jr. The guy is a joke. He's a joke.
I've told you. I, on the other hand, won $15. Even though that doesn't sound like a lot, you have to remember it's a giant pool of people. And I placed 207th out of I think the number of entries, max entries was 10,000 people, 10,000 entries. And I was only 80 points off first place. And the only reason why is because Alex Bowman finished 19th. I had Cole Custer, I had Brad Keselowski, Kurt Busch, Eric Amarillo, and Kevin Harvick. And I basically got them all in the top 10. I'm on the up and up. Eric Amarillo. What's that? What did I say? Amarillo?
Never mind.
Whatever, DJ. You're not part of the corner. Until you start betting on DraftKings with us, you can't say anything.
I don't know how DraftKings.
Start getting into NASCAR with us. It's fun. It's a once-a-week thing. You can put a $3.
I know what NASCAR is. I live in Daytona.
I'm saying get on DraftKings.
Speedway.
Get on DraftKings, you fool.
I can hear the NASCARs from my house.
That's not the point I'm making. I'm telling you to spend $3 to potentially win 10, 20, thousands.
Noted.
It's fun. I'm making petty money, but who knows? One of these days, I may win it big.
Yeah, Cole Custer, man. What story, man. Out of nowhere, rookie makes his first win in his career in Kentucky.
He got lucky.
Facts.
Somebody shredded Kevin Harvick's tire in what was it, turn 2, turn 3? Something like that. That's the only reason he won.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and move into our rotation for this episode. And it's what are the songs we vibing to this summer?
I gotta look in mine.
DJ was talking about Pop Smoke's new album earlier. So who knows how many songs he's going to pick out of that. But I've been vibing to some songs, a ton of songs lately. Let me pull up my, this doesn't have to be a top 5. It's just got to be songs you're vibing to this summer.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
So say containing it into a top 5 is going to be really, really hard. I got songs I've been vibing to is our boy Parker McCullum, who was just on the show. Memphis Rain, Like a Cowboy. Give those songs a listen. They're great. Boots by Hardy. Tokyo Driftin' by Glass Animals. Are You Bored Yet by The Wallows. Hallucinogenics by Matt Mason. Happy Does by Kenny Chesney.
What is that noise that you're making?
Oh, wow.
Second first day off.
Hard to Forget by Sam Hunt's a summer pop for sure. We're vibing to that all summer. Or DJ's like, shut the fuck up, please, with your sound effects. While I'm searching for songs, you boys give yours. What are y'all listening to?
Go ahead, Drew.
All right, so I always go old school here. I go, it's by The Fresh Prince and DJ Jazzy Jeff. Summertime is the best. My favorite song for summertime. It's a nice chill vibe. Lastly is MGK's Bloody Valentine.
You're listening to 2 songs all summer.
Oh, I'll tell you my 10,000 songs I can name, but try and keep this short.
Oh my God. I have like this playlist that I'm just adding songs to. I made it for a friend and then I just like changed the name to it and now it's just all these songs that I just like and I just keep adding it in there. It's like over at like 250 plus songs. And I'm just like, I'm in my head. I'm like, I know way more.
Jesus.
So many more.
Mine consists of The Greatest by Rod Wave.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie. I've been really digging the new Jack Harlow remix.
What's poppin'?
Fire. And Watermelon Sugar by Harry Styles is a fucking summer bop too. I'm not afraid to say it. That shit's fire.
Oh, it is. It's good.
Shit's fire. That's really about it for me. I mean, I've been listening to a lot of alternatives, so like it all depends. But DJ?
Like I said, The Greatest by Rod Wave. Got It On Me by Pop Smoke. There are like 3 songs from that album that I listen to like all the time. That's one of them. Dior is one of them. And what's the other one? For the Night featuring Lil Baby and Da Baby.
The Babies.
Yeah, the Babies. Rockstar by Da Baby and Roddy Ricch. No Guidance, Chris Brown and Drake.
I got so many like country songs I can just pick from.
Oh, I threw it back to a Workout by J. Cole.
Oh, wow.
I saw that post on Instagram that it's been like, 6 years since that song came out. So I've been bopping to that one.
By Clay Aiken. Listen to Clay Aiken?
What?
You listen to Clay Aiken?
I have. But I'll listen to any music. Like I've got playlists for rock and roll. I've got playlists for country, R&B. It just depends on the mood. If I'm rolling down the beach, I'll pop on some country.
Nice. A Real Long Time by White Reaper is a good like 80s throwback kind of song. It's real fast and real upbeat. It's a good rock song. Level of Concern, I always fuck with anything 21 Pilots.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those are kind of the songs I've been listening. I've been listening to a lot of alternative just because country radio, I talked about this with Parker McCullum. It's become a little bit stale just because everything sounds like pop country, and I'm just like not a fan of it anymore. And they only play like the same 25 songs, and especially if it's Dan and Shay, they're just going to blare it. So I have a real issue with country radio. And now I listen to like the highway on Sirius XM because I have XM radio in my car. And I'm just like,
highway. Pretty sure that's a radio station on GTA too.
Probably, who knows? But moving on, let's go ahead and talk into some huge news. First topic we're going to talk about is NFL, and it's going to be the Washington Redskins. Have made a ton of news because FedEx and Nike were basically pulling away their money and sponsors if Washington doesn't change the name. Now, before we all get into our opinions, let me give a little bit of numerical context from what I've read and from what I've known. I took a class last semester, and we had to read this said article. Native Americans are, I want to say, split on the issue, but they also couldn't care less. There's a lot of other people who make the issue bigger than it seems. For instance, they were talking about the Miami Redhawks. Does anybody know the history behind the Miami Redhawks? Miami, Ohio, where Big Ben went. The Red Hawk it is not a play on words where it's a hawk and it's red. No, it's named after a tribe right next to the school and all of that, and they based it off that. People on campus people from outside organizations started coming to campus and pestering college students about it. And they're like, oh, you don't know the history about this? And most students didn't care about the name, didn't care about the logo. They were just there to go to school. They didn't pay any mind. And then these people start coming to campus and they start changing the perspective and of the students, and they're starting to make a bigger issue than what it really needed to be at the time. Miami was like, okay, well, we're not going to change the name, but we'll change the logo. Because they were like, this is what it honors. Like the Chicago Blackhawks is the same way. The founder of the Chicago Blackhawks was one, part of the Blackhawk tribe, and two, I think it said he was in the 86th Blackhawk division in the military. Somebody needs to fact check me on that, but I know it has something to do with the military and the Blackhawk division. But nobody's asking for that logo to get canceled or anything like that because it honors it. Like, I understand, like, the term Redskin may be derogatory, but me and Hunter were talking about this on our chat, and he's like, most people refer to themselves as Redskins. Like, he is part Native American, and his grandfather is a good, I don't know what the number is, but he has a big number of Native American in him. And, like, he's like, it doesn't really matter. They refer to themselves as Redskins. It's, they view it as kind of being honored in a sense. Like, because for a majority of the history, they're not honored. Native Americans are treated like trash. Andrew Jackson moved them. The Trail of Tears movement. The number of reservations has gone down. They used to have these big plots of lands, and now they have a small plot of land. They basically live paycheck to paycheck in trailer homes, it looks like, clinging on to whatever sense of tradition they have. I'm not speaking for all. This is just from what memory I've learned, but it's the U.S. has so much guilt for what they've done to other people, like Black Lives Matter and in the African American community. Like, we're eliminating history where we just need to change how we treat people. Like, you can't deny the history. You just have to learn from it and not make the same mistake. Like, I don't understand why that's so hard for people to understand, but that's just the way it is. But for the Washington Redskins name to change, I'm not going to call it overreacting. If it depends on what study you read, honestly, because some portions of the Native American community don't like it. And another study you read, the other half just don't give a shit.
Well, if you're not going to call it overreacting, then I will. Because I think changing any name of the team that doesn't directly affect, the name itself is ridiculous. You look at talking about this earlier with the Indians and with the Redskins, Blackhawks.
The Chiefs aren't even getting called to get their name changed.
And none of these teams were created to mock and or discriminate or bash any type of anything.
It's just a mascot.
Religion, religious background. None of it's to diminish any of that. So if it's not doing said thing, why change it? There's absolutely no point in it. If anything, it's probably better that it stays the same, and then you use that platform to, inform people about them.
Yeah.
If you feel like the Indians from wherever are being discriminated against, or you don't like how they're being, treated in certain ways, or they're still taking land away, then use that platform for their team, and make your voice heard.
Here's what I don't get. Do people have more issue with the name Redskins, or do they have issues with the logo? Because if they just have the issue with the name Redskins, then just change it to the Warriors and keep everything the same. If they have problems with both, you can't just expect the team to be like, yep, we're just going to change it. I was listening to Barstool Radio, and people were calling in saying they could keep the name Redskins, but they just changed the logo to a Redskin potato. Jokes like that. But I saw Red Tails for the Tuskegee Airmen was a huge topic, and it's not everybody knows who they are, and it doesn't really sound like a whole it doesn't roll off the tongue either. Not saying that the Red Tails are not important. I'm just saying for a team mascot name, it doesn't roll off the tongue. Warriors is straight, but apparently people have a ton of flack with Warriors because they assume immediately that it's Native American influence. When I hear the word warrior, I think of Greece.
I think of Golden State.
I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, it is what it is. We can't be going around canceling everything. That's all I'm going to say. The Indians, they got a ton of flack for the caricature of Chief Wahoo, who's a fictional Indian. He's not a real person. He was never based off of any real person. It was just a cartoon. And they got it changed, and now it's just to see. Francona was they need to change the name from Indians, and it's that's fine, I guess. Go ahead.
I want to know
the Chiefs get their thing changed, but it's I
want to know how many of these people that are coming out with their opinions are actually theirs.
I don't know. I just feel like everybody's gaining a herd mentality just because they hear about that it's a derogatory sense from one person, they just believe it. It's when you look at the numbers, I'm telling you that the University of Miami, Ohio, students did not care. They didn't have any issue with it. Neither did the community. The Red Hawk, I think it was the Miami tribe or something. I forget which, I don't know if it was Miami tribe or the Red Hawk tribe. I think it was Miami tribe. That's near Miami, Ohio. They didn't care. They were actually working hand in hand with each other to make sure that it was culturally appropriated for that. It's the same thing with the Florida State Seminoles. Florida State actually works hand in hand with the Seminole tribe to make sure that they're honoring Chief Osceola when he comes out onto the field in the proper light that he should be. They work specifically with the tribes to make sure that they're not presenting it in a bad light. And people ask for them to get canceled. Part of what makes Florida State iconic is the tomahawk chop, people. You don't realize it now, but when you think Florida State, what's the first thing you think of other than Jameis Winston stealing crab legs from Publix? The tomahawk chop. The Braves straight up told their season ticket holders, we're not going to change our name. But we'll look into the tomahawk chop, even though people love the tomahawk chop as Braves fans. That's part of the experience going to ball games. You can't get offended at every little thing because you just assume it with a negative light. They've been doing a tomahawk chop for forever. Like a Cardinals player during, I think, the divisional series took offense to it, but it's like game 5 when he made a comment. Like, dude, you played 2 games in Atlanta. You should have made a comment before. You played all season. Who knows how – I forget how long he was in the bigs, but if you were in the bigs for a long time and you're suddenly making a comment about how the tomahawk chop is offending you, get out of here with that. Like,
yeah,
you can't be taking offense to every little thing.
It's so soft, and everybody is taking the opinion of the minority and putting it above the majority just to save their butts. And I think
it's so easy. It's so easy to not like change. It really is. The fact is that like it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen either way.
I understand it's gonna happen, but it needs to happen. I guess I would say naturally. You can't go around canceling 20 teams just because you think it's a derogatory sense. Because if we're talking about just Native Americans, I heard reports that, Vikings may get canceled. It's like, now we're going a little bit too far here. Like, we're going to
go the Buccaneers.
Pirates. The Saints. If we're going to assume the Saints with, like, a church, well, the church isn't in a great light either because of the whole 2008 issue or 2004 when they were touching little boys. Like, you gotta take things with a bit of a grain of salt. Like I understand the Redskins. I understand if you want to change it, change it. I think that you can't be going around changing everything simply because you think you're offended by it or you think it's a derogatory sense. When you don't know what the organization does with said communities, you don't understand the history of the logo, you don't understand the history of the team, I think you got to do those things first because I think personally that's the reason why the Blackhawks are not getting canceled is because I think nobody gives a shit about hockey here in the U.S. But 2, like if you do understand hockey, then you know that the Blackhawk isn't derogatory anybody. It's honoring the tribes.
You're just in the wrong state.
Yeah, I guess Florida just doesn't care either.
You got to go up to like Ohio, Michigan, Indiana, Illinois.
Yeah, those are where the hockey and basketball people are. Those are where they all are at.
Mm-hmm.
I think we said enough on this issue. We voiced our opinions. I like Drew saying that change is going to happen, but people hate change. I think that's honestly why there's so many.
Stupid.
Well, if it's a stupid change, like a name change, yeah. I think it's
not that the name that they're changing it to is stupid. The reason that they're changing it is stupid.
But it's also like I think that's part of the issues with this country sometimes is that people hate change and they don't want things to change. They want things to stay constant. That's why it's such a big deal every 4 years when we have to go vote for a president. That if somebody takes office, everything goes to shit because we don't like change. We'd rather it stay constant. I really don't know how anything's ever going to get fixed. But that's the whole thing with wearing a mask. Everybody's livelihood is changed because they got to wear masks. Like, they're like, oh, it affects me, blah, blah, blah. Like, come on now. Wear your mask for 30 minutes. Go what you need to do. And the minute you get outside, you can take off your mask. Like, come on.
You've seen the South Florida trials that where I'm from, people are crazy. Like they're saying like the devil and like 5G and like all that shit about like masks. It's insane.
We're living in a Parks and Recs episode I saw on Twitter.
Basically, yeah.
It's crazy. It's all crazy.
Did you hear Orange County, California's whatchamajigger statements? Their court hearings.
Oh, yeah. Right, did you hear, I think the LAPD hosted like Zoom calls or some shit for people to call into. And people called in like at the height of like when everybody was hating on the police movement. Like when like George Floyd just passed away. And people will call in saying like, you guys say you're going to protect us, but really all you're doing is killing innocent people, blah, blah, blah. Fucking was going off. It was hilarious. Some of it was hilarious, not going to lie. But moving on. Let's go ahead and talk about the NBA bubble. The NBA bubble has started. Teams have arrived, I think, except Houston. I think Houston's the only team that hasn't made the trip over to Orlando yet.
I don't think Milwaukee has.
No, Milwaukee's there. Or they're still in Milwaukee, one or the other. I don't think Giannis has shown up.
They closed down all team facilities after somebody tested positive.
Oh, that's right. So Milwaukee's not there in Orlando yet. Toronto arrived. Both Clippers and Lakers arrived. Memphis, Dallas, Orlando, Utah, Pacers. I already said Indiana. Sacramento, I don't think has made the trip over yet. Neither has San Antonio. Neither has Miami, I don't think either. I think DJ's going to go look at that. But anyways, the bubble's happening, and these NBA players, man, they're tweeting out pictures of their meals like every day. And the first night was like rough. It was like a salad, some pasta, and like a bunch of small sides, and they were hating on it.
It's all prepackaged.
And then I think it was like the next day they had steak and stuff. And then I don't know who it was. It was some player from Philadelphia who didn't get a spork. He was like, he got 2 pieces of chicken and mac and cheese. He was like, and it's like, guys, you can't make the bubble look like trash based off the food. Because all the amenities there are nice. Like, all the players are fishing. They're catching bass, like, nonstop.
And the breakfast, too, is A1 with the Mickey waffles.
Oh, facts. They got Mickey waffles. Like, I don't know what more you can really ask for, man. When you got Mickey waffles happening and cooking, bro.
For real. They have, like, ping pong tables, and they have, like NBA Jam they can play. It's sick.
Facts, bro. I think they all just got to chill with, like, I think it was Jay Williams who was like, dude, you can't just, every player just needs to be grateful that they're going to play basketball. Like, sorry that nothing's up to par, but you got, also, who's the NBA player inviting some girl to the bubble? Like, come on.
J.R. Smith.
Probably. I honestly don't even know at this point. The bubble is what you make it. NBA, Miles Leonard and JJ Redick were shotgunning beers. Like,
Ben Simmons is catching fish.
And then dropping it on the freaking deck.
That was funny.
That shit was hilarious.
Boban and Tobias Harris
reunited.
Just as funny as ever.
And then now it's Boban and Luka.
Yeah, and poor Tobias is all by himself. But it's interesting.
It is.
Wait for James to start. Zion looks like he's in good shape. I'm excited to see him in this playoff run.
Ja Morant.
Is the Grizzlies there?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Here's the thing. I think nobody can change their positions.
Only the 8 seed.
Only the 8 seed can. But the 8 seed is safe. Memphis cannot lose the 8 seed. Does that make sense?
You think that they can?
No, it's the other teams have to catch up. The teams, if Memphis wins enough games and they're ahead by more than 4 games, they don't have to play in the 8 versus 9. All the other teams are playing to get to the 9 spot to try and play in.
Do they have a wild card game?
That is like the wild card game.
Oh.
It's the same thing that's happening with the Wizards and Orlando. So, it's the first 8 games are warm-ups for the rest of the teams except those trying to make it in. Other than that, it's basically bubble talk. Well,
I've got something.
What do you got?
Did you guys hear that they are going to Texas tiebreaker for all extra inning regular season games?
Yeah, put a runner on second.
Yeah. You believe that? Oh, my God.
That's going to make games go by so quick.
Oh my goodness! Those who want games to go by quicker just don't appreciate baseball enough.
Here's the thing: I'm not complaining, but I'm also not a fan of 17, 18 inning games.
Those are the best ones.
It's kind of dumb, in my opinion. Like baseball, like in basketball, you have an overtime. In football, you have one overtime and you tie. In hockey, you play one overtime and then you have a shootout, unless it's in the playoffs and then you just keep having overtimes. Which playoff NHL overtimes are electric.
All overtimes are electric.
I think NHL overtimes are way more electric than anything else. Basketball is like, it's just another 5 minutes, and really, they only score like 6 more points. Football is kind of electric, except there's a really stupid rule of if you score a touchdown, you win the game. It's like, I think
college football overtime is lit.
Yes, I wish the NFL will adopt the Texas Showdown.
Makes life so much easier and exciting.
Start from the 25-yard line. You get 2 first downs, and you gotta score.
They can even do kickoffs. Like you give them a drive, let them both or each get a drive.
But the NFL doesn't like that apparently. Doesn't really matter. But let's go ahead and talk about some baseball. So baseball comes back next Thursday. Let's just give what we think is going to happen in the season. Divisional picks, MVP, Cy Youngs. Like we've done this before when we were at UNF still. This was our first episode. We made these predictions thinking baseball is going to happen. Here's my caveat with baseball. It's going to be a mad sprint. Pitchers are going to get used less or more. Starting pitchers, like you really don't have you can't throw a guy in for 5 innings on his first outing. His first outing's got to be 7 innings. But batters can't, Carabas was talking to Mike Moustakis about this on the Starting 9 the other day. Drew, did you take a listen to that?
I did.
Absolutely Electric podcast. And, talking about how you don't have those May at-bats. Those April at-bats and try and get your swing, it's a mad dash to finish. If you're in a slump, for a third of the season. Think about that.
So what I think will end up happening here is I think teams will end up overloading their bullpens. The amount of players that they keep in the dugout as reserve or.
Well, that number got bolstered by the MLB. I think they're allowed to have 40 on hand.
That's normal.
No, what was it? No, but on a day game, you have a 40 active roster, but you can only start 25 guys.
Yeah. So I think
the starting number went up. I don't know to what. I think they bolstered the roster spots to 60.
Yep.
Holy shit.
I don't know what the starting number is.
Well, regardless, those starters, at least during the start of the season, are going to be up. I think in order to get your pitchers, into the game, they're going to have more on staff because, you want your pitchers to last all those 60 games.
And I think this is going to be great because every at-bat counts now. Every run is important. Like, you can lose a game in April and be okay. You know what I'm talking about? Now you got 60 games. If you start, here's what I'm saying. If you start below 500 coming out of the first 10 games, you're screwed.
Ooh, I will.
I'm taking it. If you go 4-6, you have a decent chance. But if you go 3-7 in those first 10 games, you're screwed. Because then
3-7 is a little lacking. But MLB is so weird. It's so weird.
I think there's a chance.
Losing streaks and the year that I believe it was the year that the Indians went to the World Series, it took them to the last game before they got home field advantage for their playoff run. So, I mean, though they had their
Nationals,
they had their playoff spot locked in, but I mean, everything comes down to the absolute last game.
Here's what I'm like. Here's my gripe with baseball sometimes, specifically with the last year's Nationals, where they complained about they were 19-31, after the first 50 games or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like you still have 110 more games left. Like, you could easily hit a 10-game winning streak and win and still dominate, and you'll be, 29-31? That's pretty good to put yourself in a decent position within 10 games. Like, I don't give the Nationals too much credit because the Cardinals also will have slow slumps, and they get hot. That happened with the 2011 team that ended up winning the World Series.
Well, that and the Nationals should have won a World Series a long time ago.
Yeah, they were overdue for one. With that talented pitching staff and Strasburg
staff that they had
was overdue. But I'm gonna go ahead and make my divisional picks right here. I think there's gonna be some hot ones. I think the AL Central, I'm going with the White Sox.
Oh!
I'm feeling the White Sox with the hitting. I don't think the Twins will get off to a hot start at all. I think their pitching staff is not equipped enough to deal with that yet. I think they're also going up against a grueling NL Central schedule too. And I think the White Sox have that better in their favor rather than the Twins and the Indians. The Indians, I don't know what the fuck. I just don't believe in it.
I have no idea. I saw that they made a move. They got rid of Jason.
The NL Central, I'm sticking with my Cardinals. I believe in them 110%. But I think a sleeper is the Reds. I believe in the Reds. That pitching staff is legit. The hitting's legit. You now added a DH spot. Now you can get Votto in the DH and play some young guy at first.
Whoa. What about the DH?
There's a universal DH in the National League. Both leagues have DH for this season.
Wow.
Yeah.
So my pick for the AL Central, I'm going with the twin killing. I'm with the Twins this year. Talking about power on power on power on power with Sano, Donaldson, Rosario, Polanco, Adrianza, Kepler, and the pitching Jose Barrios and Jake Rizzo combined for 29 wins last season. Just saying, 29 wins between the two of them. NL Central, it is time for the Cubbies to come back to the division. Bringing back Baez, Bryant, Rizzo, Contreras, and the most low-key pitcher in National League, Kyle Hendricks.
Kyle Hendricks is a beast. Anytime Kyle Hendricks goes up against the Cardinals, I just chalk it up as a loss. That man owns the Cardinals. Every game I've ever watched, he dominates us. Question. Isn't the playoffs up to 12 teams or is it 14 teams?
I think it's a standard, isn't it, from this year?
Oh, isn't it 3 division plus the wild card playing, or did they add it?
They have a wild card playoff.
Yeah.
So it was last year.
So they're not adding.
The wild card plays the divisional or the AL leader.
Because when the Rays won last year, they played the Astros.
Yeah. Because AL plays the number 1 seed, and then 2 and 3.
Give me a second.
I don't know what you have to look up. I'm telling you exactly how it goes.
Dude, I know how the playoffs go every year. Oh, here.
Why are you asking?
Here we go. Postseason play would be expanded from 10 teams to 14. It would have the 3 divisional winners plus 4 wild card teams. So I'm right. There's going to be 4 wild card teams that are going to play each other.
Oh, there's going to be 3 wild card games.
Yes.
2 wild card games.
I think it's the wild
because they've got the 2 that play each other, and then they've got the winner of that one. That's dumb. I think that's stupid.
But
I will say I will pick All right, my AL. I'm just gonna go my whole AL and NL.
I'll just go with the Central right now.
So rude.
Or you can do AL.
The AL Central. I don't know why, and you guys are gonna judge me on this. I am really feeling the Tigers.
Gross.
Whoa, buddy.
I don't have any specific reason as
They
to
haven't
what
been relevant.
Their pitching staff has not been, stellar. There is nothing that particularly drags me to them. They just are kind of looking good in training right now. They're they look good at swinging the bat. I just have to crawl. I've got to pick them, but I do think the Indians will grab that wild card spot. I will say the Indians will grab that wild card spot, especially with the players that they're bringing back on offense. I don't know what the Indians will look like on their pitching staff wise. I know they got rid of Kluber and Bauer, which is it hurts my heart.
Kluber is now with the Rangers.
Yeah, so it hurts my heart tremendously. I did not pay much attention to the draft other than knowing that one of my buddies got drafted. So I don't know who their draft picks were. Hopefully they loaded up on pitching. If not, then they need to change their front office. But we're going to go to the NL Central. I've got a toss-up in between the Cubs and the Reds.
Y'all are hating on the Cardinals, I swear.
I am not a Cardinals fan at all whatsoever.
No haters.
I don't see anything extra special about the Cardinals at the moment. They do their squad. I feel like has been there for like 30 years.
No. Wrong. False. Absolutely false.
I'm not saying that it's true.
The core guys that you remember have been there for 30 years, like Molina and Wainwright. They're the only two players left, and Matt Carpenter, that are from the 2011 team.
What about your second baseman?
Second baseman's Colton Wong.
Yeah, he's been there for like ever.
He's been there for like 5 years, but okay.
It's forever. It's just, I don't see anything.
Martinez.
He's on the red. Jose or Carlos?
Carlos.
Yeah, he's been there for a minute. Here's my pitch about the Cardinals. Here's my pitch, and you guys have to listen and listen closely. Because you guys don't understand baseball.
Oh,
I called you fuckers out because you're hating on my team.
Well, you're going to be wrong regardless, so.
No. There's a reason why the Cardinals dropped 10 runs on Drew's Braves. Because we're a good team. There's a reason why.
Tampa Bay hat on at the moment, so I think.
That's because he's ashamed of the Braves.
Ashamed. Listen,
ashamed.
Right here,
he's
this is the best manager in baseball history.
He's ashamed.
Bobby Cox. That's my guy right there. Just saying.
The pitching staff, I always think can be better. Can always be better. You got Flaherty, Michaelis, Hudson, Wainwright, and then I think are going to call somebody up from the minors. The bullpen can always use more work. You got Miller, Martinez, and Jordan Hicks is actually out this year because of his Tommy John. And you got Gallegos and Gant, who actually do a very solid job when they come out of the bullpen, and Baribio. And the hitting, though, is outstanding. Outstanding. The lineup is going to be scary because you get Harrison Bader, who is fast and can get on base. Colton Wong can get on base. This is not any particular order, by the way. Then you got Goldschmidt in the power spot. Paul DeJong.
You better hope Goldschmidt has a good year.
He did mediocre when we got to the playoffs. Think about that. Paul DeJong is going to be a stud. Paul DeJong. He's a stud, guys. He's a stud. You guys don't watch enough Cardinal baseball because for some reason we're not a flashy team. We're just not. You got
an old school team.
Which wins games. Tommy Edman, phenomenal young talent. Matt Carpenter better get his shit together. Otherwise, I want him off my team, off the Cardinals. Tyler O'Neill's going to take over the Ozuna spot because Marcell Ozuna's he even said it. He's an idiot for leaving St. Louis. He's going to regret it. Molina, clutch Molina. And then Dexter Fowler is an old man that I don't want playing on the Cardinals anymore, but we're tied up to his contract. That's a team that is going to.
The Braves in the NL Central?
The Braves or the NL East?
Oh, East Coast, baby. East Coast.
That's what I was thinking. But I was
so let's go on.
I know the Cardinals and the Braves are like a heated battle, so I just didn't know if that was divisional or not.
Let's go to the AL and NL East. The AL East. This one's.
I think you've got to go Yankees.
I'm not. I'm actually going to go with the Rays.
I'll put them
as Drew switches hat mid-conversation we're having.
Yep.
There we go. Back to the Rays hat.
That hat looks way too big on you.
The reason why
this one or this one? This one?
The Tampa Bay one.
Here's why I say the Rays. I think the Yankees, I'm not seeing it. Aaron Judge is still dealing with injuries across the board. Neck injury, rib injury. It's another thing after another. Tanaka just got drilled in the head. I believe in Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole's going to win in games. But I just don't believe in the Yankees and that staff. They're built for a long 162-game season. In a short amount of time, I believe the Rays, with the hitting they have where they can get on base and win games, Moneyball style, I believe in the Rays as a dark horse to win it, and that's who I'm going with. Now, these are divisional, and then we'll get to our wild card teams, and then we'll do MVP Cy Young, and then we'll sign off. But the NL East, I think I would have to go with the Nationals as I set up Drew for the fake out. Because I like the Braves, but I don't think the Braves benefit from a 60-game season. I think the pitching staff is going to have a hard time. And then if Acuna or Albies doesn't get off to a hot start, it's tough because Markakis is out of the lineup. You lost Donaldson. That's a lot of power there. You got Dansby Swanson who's swagalicious. But, I like the Nationals lineup a little bit better. And you can't go wrong with Strasburg and Scherzer as your 1-2 guy. You can't. So that's why I like the Nationals to win the NL East. Drew?
Question.
Actually, we're not. We're going to skip Drew because we know
No.
He's going to pick the Rays and the Braves.
No. Who won the NL East in 2018? The Braves.
When was the last time you've been to a World Series?
Won in 2019, the Braves.
When was the last time you've been to the World Series?
Itself.
When was the last time?
With their youth and experience, it's beautiful. You have Acuna, Rookie of the Year, franchise corner piece. Ozzy Albies, a switch hitting second baseman, solid serviceable player. We also have a guy named Marcell Ozuna who adds some thump to the lineup in our DH position.
And Marcell Ozuna, from watching him play with the Cardinals, he's not that great. You get a mediocre outfielder and a guy who can hit bombs about every 10 games.
And then you have Austin freaking Riley. The dude can absolutely R-A-K-E rake.
And then go 210 for the rest of the year.
So the Braves clear the dust in AL East, and then we go with the best rotation in the AL East, the Rays. Jacob did mention this. Charlie Morton, Tyler Glasnow, Ryan Yarbrough, Blake Snell, Yanni Chirinos fucking around with Brendan McKay, two-way player. And now the bullpen. Ian Anderson throws absolute gas. Jose Alvarado, the lefty, and Chaz Rose sliders are like freaking frisbees. So who tells me that the Rays are going to win at AL East? Who?
Probably DJ.
Exactly.
Probably DJ. Don't take that to heart because I am a Rays fan. I do love the Rays.
Where are all these Rays fans coming from, dude? I lived in Tampa. There was like none of them. Nobody ever went to games.
When was the last time we were allowed to root for the Rays? Rays haven't been relevant since their run in 2011 or 2012.
2008.
2008, dude.
Well, am I that? Exactly. You know what?
They've been relevant since Nam.
Wait, no, 2011 they had their run against the Yankees.
Oh wait, was like their big like a World Series year that made like the big name.
Yeah, I remember that series, but like even just a little bit less than that, they were relevant in 2011 in that big old comeback against the Yankees.
You mean this famous little game?
Yes.
Yes.
That was a great
Give us
game.
your picks. Give us your picks, DJ.
Sorry, I got one more comment. I watched those highlights of that game 162 every time I started up MLB 11 the show. Every single time. And then I had to watch the freaking Cardinals whip up somebody. I think it was the Astros. For the AL East, I am actually going to go with the Yankees over the Rays. I do think the Rays are going to be right there. It will be a neck and neck battle with the Yankees and the Rays. I think the Red Sox with the loss of Mookie Betts is going to hurt them tremendously.
The Red Sox are not relevant to me.
The pitching
okay, I didn't ask.
Staff. Hopefully, RJ Alvarez gets called up, but he didn't even make the 60-man roster.
But I tell you what, the Red Sox will be interesting depending on how Chris Sale and David Price.
David Price is he's on the Dodgers and he opted out. He opted out.
Okay, so just kidding. I don't know who else is on the Red Sox anymore. But I do believe I trust in the Yankees hitting a little bit more than I do in the Rays. But I do believe the Rays pitching may have a slight hand over the Yankees, especially with Aroldis Chapman just getting tested for COVID. So that's a huge, tremendous loss for the Yankees. So it'll be interesting to see how they play out. And then the NL East, I am a Braves fan too. I grew up watching Chipper Jones play, so it's hard for me to go against them. I just think that they are a little ill-experienced compared to the Nationals and what they have on staff at the moment. So I will go with the Nationals in the NL East, but I believe it will be the same contest with the Yankees and the Rays as it will be for the Braves and the Nationals in the NL. So it'll be interesting. I hate to pick against those teams, but
so let's go with the NL West and the AL West. The NL West, it's going to be the Dodgers. Everybody else in that division is not strong enough to keep up with the Dodgers. To OP, you added Mookie Betts to an already stacked outfield. I think they still have Jock Peterson because he failed a physical with the Angels. So now it's Jock Peterson who can hit dingers. Cody Bellinger, MVP frontrunner.
Whoa. What about Jock Peterson and the Angels?
He failed a physical. That's why he wasn't traded.
They were going to trade Jock Peterson to the Angels?
They were going to be part of a 3-team trade in order to get David Price and Mookie Betts to them. So they were
the Angels?
Yep.
I would have taken him minus the physical. Oh, my God.
Then you got Cody Bellinger, MVP frontrunner, plus Mookie Betts. And now you throw in a universal DH to add more firepower to this team. Plus you got Mad Max Muncy, and thinking of somebody named Justin, but I don't.
Justin Turner.
Then the pitching staff, you got Kershaw, electric. You got Bueller, Cy Young potential. You got young guys. They got the carrot top guy, the long flow. Guys know who I'm talking about.
Big Red.
Then you got catching position is always needed work. They got Gavin Lux on deck, who's like the number one prospect coming out of the minors.
Nope. It's Wander Franco.
Franco. For the
Wander Franco.
They got Gavin Lux as like in the top 10 or top 20.
Mm-hmm.
And then like that lineup is going to be stacked, utterly stacked. Nobody's going to be able to compete with that team. The AL West, I think it's a two-way race. It's between the Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. The Astros still have all the power and the hitting, but the Rangers have the pitching. You got Lance Lynn, Mike Minor, and Corey Kluber. That's your three-man rotation. That's clutch. Most teams only got one or two guys. These guys got three.
What year did the Astros cheat?
2017.
17. And supposedly 19.
Who did the Indians play in 2017? Did they play the Astros or the Yankees?
Yankees. Because then it was Yankees-Astros in 17. And I'm leaning towards the Texas Rangers because of the pitching. I think here's the thing. The Texas Rangers can get off to a hot start. They were hot last year towards the All-Star break. I think if it goes the way I'm thinking it, they're going to be fine. I think the Astros are going to suffer from pitching-wise. It's only Verlander who I'm scared of. And they still have Greinke, but Greinke's way out of his prime. Way out of it. You saw it in the postseason. He's out of it. He will deal a couple gems, but that's about it. I think
that's all he needs to do.
Yeah, but I believe in the Texas Rangers a little bit more, and also I just hate the Houston Astros. So
I mean, you can hate the Houston Astros as much as you can, and the more the people hate them, the more the people hit them, the better chance they are of winning those games.
Well, my whole thing with the Astros is, yeah, they cheated, but their entire team is still basically the same. That team is still built really well. It's just I don't know how the pitching's gonna fare out. And Verlander's gonna win games, but I'm not sure about all the other guys. So, I also believe in Kluber, I believe in Lance Lynn, and I believe in Mike Minor. Now, I can be entirely wrong, and the Texas Rangers' lineup is going to be absolute garbage. I could be wrong, but I don't think I will be. Just because this is my bold take on the division winners, and if it's true, I'm going to look like a genius. Drew?
So, NL West, I'm also going with the Dodgers. It's kind of the clear favorite. You forgot to mention that they also have Alex Wood as number 3 guy for rotation. Solid guy to have in rotation. They have Bellinger, Mookie, Muncy, and also Corey Seager, one of the biggest, one of the best shortstops I think in the league. The Big Red's name is Dustin May, by the way, for the Dodgers. AL West is the Astros, and Jacobs claimed that Greinke has lost it. Last year, he went 18-5 with a 2.93 ERA, so he's pretty good.
Not from what I saw in the playoffs. Not from what I saw in the playoffs, man. He also played on the Diamondbacks in a weak NL West.
He had 10 wins and maybe with the Diamondbacks and won 8-1 with the Astros into this season. But yeah, Astros are my team to choose for AL West. Also, they have Lance McCullers back this year, so his curveball is straight nasty. Yeah, those are my 2 picks.
AL West. That includes the Rangers, the Astros, the A's, and there's one more, right?
2 more.
2 more. I gotta think for a second. The Angels are NL, right?
Yep, one more.
Yeah, AL West.
The Angels are AL?
Yes.
Oh.
Always will be.
That was a wish upon a star. I don't know. What's the 5th one?
Seattle.
Who knows?
Oh, I forgot Seattle existed.
Wow. Washington plans to announce a name change on Monday morning. Breaking news.
Well, they can break that news over somebody's head. I don't care.
Yeah.
I think for my AL West, I will go with the Astros, and I think it'll be a nice little two-man race up there with the Rangers and the A's. I like the A's young roster. Their rotation is not completely there yet, but I do like the steps and where they're going. The Rangers, obviously, their pitching staff has gotten better, especially with the addition of Corey Kluber, which I'm so sad to hear left the Indians or got traded. And then for my NL West, you guys ready for this curveball? I don't think you're ready.
San Diego.
Oh no, that's a good one though too.
Arizona. Arizona or Colorado.
Well, you're running out of teams, so
I'm narrowing it down.
I am. I'm gonna go with the Rockies.
Not crazy.
As only if they can get off to a hot start. If the Rockies can get off
to a caveat for everything, but go ahead.
Huh?
That's a caveat for everything, but yeah.
But like, you were talking about you're 3-7, you're gone. Like if they can start the season like 7-3, I think the Dodgers and all the new additions that they have, they're going to struggle starting up.
Yeah.
I know baseball is more of like it's an individual team sport. Like you've got to be hot on your own in order for everybody else to succeed. You feed off of an individual. You don't necessarily – I don't know if that makes sense to you guys.
Yeah.
One person has to do good individually for others to feed off of. And as a team, it works. But if you have, every individual person doing bad, your team's not going to do well. It's weird. Baseball's weird.
So I'm going to go rapid fire for everything else, including my MVP and Cy Youngs for both leagues. My wild card teams for the NL and AL. For the NL, I'm going with the Reds and the Brewers taking 2 spots. I believe in one of the NL West teams, my gut is telling me the Padres will get off to a nice hot start. And I think they'll take that. And then I think the Braves will take the wild card spot.
Gee, thanks.
Shut up, Drew. Jeez. Y'all hate on my Cardinals, and I just don't believe in the Braves because we've shouted on them. Anyways.
2011 was rigged.
No. Yes, it was. It was. Thank you, DJ.
It was not an infield fly.
Correct.
Stupid dumbasses.
Pete Cosmo.
Hey. Stop complaining because we won that chip.
You did not win it fair and square, though.
It also produced arguably one of the best Game 6s in World Series history.
One of the greatest Game 6s that should have never happened.
You know what?
Very true.
And that's dumb Nelson Cruz. That's dumb Nelson Cruz, too. In that position, you are playing no doubles. You are playing back from the fence.
All you had to do.
You do not let that ball go over your head. That is your only job as an outfielder. I knew that, and I was 11.
Sucks. Y'all are just upset because neither of your teams have won a championship since, World War II.
Actually, yeah.
Y'all, you haven't won one since the 90s, and you haven't won one since the 90s either.
I haven't won one since the 40s.
Oh, yeah. Cleveland just sucks.
We went in the 90s.
That's right. We lost to the Marlins.
The Marlins off a walk-off.
And 95.
Here we go.
97.
AL cards. I got the Astros because I picked the Rangers. I got the Twins. I got the Angels.
Oh, I like that. I like that Angels pick. I do.
And I'm going to go with the Yankees because that's going to fill it out. Then my MVP for the NL and A. I'm not confident in the Yankees at all, as you can see. But anyways, my MVP for the NL, I think it's going to be Cody Bellinger. Again, I think he's going to go double. I think he's going to double up. Actually, no. Actually, switch it. I think it's going to be Acuna because that's who I picked way back in February, and that's what I'm going to stick with is Ronald Acuna Jr.
I don't know. He was 5th in voting last year with 40 home runs and 100 RBIs, 37 stolen bases. Just saying.
Yeah, but, they really love their outfielders that just yam early on, like Belly. And the AL MVP, honestly don't know how it cannot be Mike Trout if he doesn't play. If he does play. Honestly.
I mean, that's a solid pick every year.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Mike Trout just because of the consistency. And we had Houston Street on, and he just goes, this guy's next level. My NL Cy Young, I think it's going to be Walker Buehler. I think I picked him at the beginning of the year, too. I'm sticking with him. And then the AL, I think.
Gotta go Mad Max.
The AL, Mad Max is in the NL. I'm picking Walker Buehler, who plays for the Dodgers. In the AL, I think I have to stick with Garrett Cole. I think he's just too dominant right now. But yeah, that's basically my picks, and I think I don't know who's going to be Rookie of the Year because I don't even know who's rookies right now. So ask me when we have clear contenders. But Drew?
So my AL wild card is Battle of the Pinstripes with the White Sox versus Yankees in the AL wild card playoff. And then NL going Cardinals against this is my little wild card or I guess hot team is the Mets. They have not gotten any love this year, and we have like Jeff McNeil, Pete Alonso, Mike Conforto, Brandon Nimmo, and then also the rotation guys. The rotation has
the bullpen. Bullpen. The bullpen's gonna let them down like they do every year.
DeGrom, Waka, Stroman, Porcello, Mats, and then they also have Betances, the bullpen this year.
You forgot Syndergaard.
Well, yeah, them too. So yeah, I guess they'll push Mats as a
Waka hasn't been relevant since the 2013 playoffs. 2, Stroman, overhyped.
Coming from a St. Louis fan, it's all right, Drew.
Yeah.
No, Stroman didn't play for the Cardinals. Michael Waka really hasn't been relevant. I would know because the next year we gave him a nice, decent contract, and he just shat the bed. Here's the thing. I'm a really tough critic on the Cardinals because they did Michaelis was the same thing. He had an all-star year, and then next year he was average. And it's I need way more consistency because the Cardinals never have an ace. When they do, it's homegrown. They're not going out and signing big guys. Homegrown aces. Chris Carpenter and Adam Wainwright were homegrown.
Nope. They're probably a trade.
Trade, but they came up to the minors.
So my NL Cy Young.
Wainwright came from the Braves. I remember that.
The trade, yep, Jason Markey. My NL Cy Young. I'm gonna go with the Calgary Flame. That's Mike Soroka. The dude's legit. He's a second-year pitcher from the Braves.
Dying DJ.
I don't know who the hell that is.
Oh, he's a stud, bro. I'm telling you, check him out. But the NL MVP, I'm going Mookie Betts. I think it's his time to get MVP award.
NL?
That's NL MVP, yeah. It's Mookie Betts. Also, rookie to look out for, Monte Harrison from the Marlins. He's looked amazing in camp. Look out for him.
Actually, I'm going to change my NL pick real fast. I'm going to go with Nolan Arenado, and he needs to get shown some love. I think the Dodgers outfield is going to be too overpowered. That's going to affect both of them. I think Arenado is going to shine this year. In a short season, I think this is where he's going to shine. Hot corner.
That is a gorgeous pick.
My AL Cy Young, Lucas Giolito. Dude is an absolute stud on the White Sox.
Fire.
And then
he can replicate.
My AL MVP.
AL's tough because they don't have a lot of people.
Yeah.
The only one we all can think of is Mike white trout.
It is, but maybe
I can think of like 3, and 2 of I'm not including Trout.
Bregman, and Altuve.
No, I'm not even thinking of the Astros. I don't think any of the Astros are winning MVPs this year. I'm thinking it could be Francisco Lindor. I think it could be Ramirez at third base for the Indians, or it could be the Twins center fielder.
no.
Buxton?
No.
Aaron Buxton?
Yes, I think he's stud.
My AL pick is Matt Chapman from MVP.
Oh,
That's a great pick. That is
Oakland
a pick.
I forget, dude. He's a sleeper at first base, right?
Jeez.
Third baseman.
Third baseman. Sleeper.
So what do I got? I got 4 wild card teams per league.
Yep.
All right. So for my AL, I'm going Indians, I'm going Rays, I'm going A's, and I love your pick with the Angels. I've got to go with them. I think if they can get started and Mike Trout's hot, I think that's phenomenal.
They also had Anthony Rendon like eons ago, but it feels like eons. They added them off in the winter meetings.
I was gonna say that's.
Which feel like years. Go ahead.
For the NL, because I did pick the Rockies, I will have to go with the Dodgers. I will go Mets. Dodgers, Mets. Who?
You said the Cubbies or Reds, so you got to pick one. You picked the Cubbies.
Then I'll go Reds there, and then I believe the Braves. The Braves for sure. Braves will definitely be there if they don't win their division.
I have to ask this one question. Why do y'all hype up the Cubbies?
Because their squad is nice.
No. Chris Bryant, overrated. As hell.
Yeah. Tell me more.
Overrated.
Please tell me more.
Overrated. Pitching staff other than Kyle Hendricks is old and trash. Not Tanaka. Yu Darvish, garbage. John Lester, a little bit past his prime, going towards the end of his career.
John Lester's way past his prime. That dude's just a freaking.
He can still deal. Jason Hayward in the outfield, trash. Kyle Schwarber, trash.
God.
I don't even know who their other outfielder is because he's trash.
Albert Amore.
Trash.
Imagine somebody, a Cardinals fan, trash talking the Cubs.
I can't because
it's brutal. It's brutal, isn't it, Drew? It's almost
their team is not good.
Pathetic.
Also, Contreras.
They're pathetic.
Contreras.
You root for the Cleveland Indians. You haven't won a World Series since '40. The chance you did have, you blew it against the Cubs because of a rain delay and y'all couldn't handle weather, apparently.
Sorry, we don't play in the Windy City.
Y'all lost at home.
No. We're not used to weather.
It's Cleveland. It snows like for a third of the year. It's cold as shit all the time there. That's what people show up to Browns games even though it's cold as shit, dude.
I don't understand your point.
I don't know why people love the Cubs so much all of a sudden.
Like,
everybody has always loved the Cubs. The Cubs have just been since 1908.
Why is everybody
They're original? It's because they're original.
They're a good team.
No, everybody loves the Cubs because of Wrigley Field and how historic that field is.
Yes, it's exactly why people like the Red Sox too.
Also,
and that they were on that bandwagon when they didn't win for 99 years.
I'm gonna fight all of you when I get back to
Harry carries the GOAT.
Y'all just need to go to a game in St. Louis, and then you will understand. Until then, y'all have no room to talk because you guys are too busy sucking off everything Chicago because it's a big town and you're like,
I'm not sucking off Chicago.
Who picked them when the Cardinals are a significantly better team on paper?
On paper.
And in person, because guess who won the division last year? We did.
And you guess you went nowhere.
Dominated. We dominated the NL Central for the last 10 years. If you look back at the division winners, we dominated.
That's not what the 2016 Cubs have said.
Oh, what frustrating. I swear to God.
So I think my Cy Young winners, I think Jacob deGrom in the NL. I like Nolan Arenado as MVP in the NL. AL, I like Byron Buxton or Mike Trout. And AL Cy Young, I will go with Jacob and go Garrett Cole because it's hard to pick anybody else. Nobody else. Oh, I think Corey Kluber could have a breakout year too. So.
I'm just going to say you guys frustrate me. You guys have so much slander on the St. Louis Cardinals.
It's not slander.
It's slander. I respect both your teams a little bit of degree, but you guys don't respect the Cardinals.
You didn't pick the Indians for anything.
Because you guys are trash. You have nobody. You lost J.C. Kipnis. You traded away Bauer and Kluber. Your star pitcher is Clevenger, and a dude who's still recovering, who can still pitch lights out when he's fully healthy. And other than Francisco Lindor and Ramirez, you have nobody.
Carlos Santana.
Overrated.
Oh, my God. Kiss my ass, Jacob.
Guys, I'm not wrong when it comes to baseball. I'm not.
You're not even the most intelligent baseball player on the screen or person on the screen right now.
That's fine. But I'm the most intelligent sports talker on this entire show.
No.
On all the sports. Hockey, basketball.
I'll give you hockey.
Football and basketball you're going to give me.
I'm going to give myself college football.
That's fine. I don't know enough college football.
I think Drew's got me for the most part statistical wise.
Drew's our numbers guy. Drew's the Jake Marsh / Hank Lockwood of the show.
I'm not.
I need some more respect. I like the Jay Hay of the podcast. Jacob.
The Jay Hay.
As the Nuggets.
The Nugs.
I am a more of a what to do in baseball. I'm more of a coach, not a numbers guy.
I'm just telling you, boys, when my predictions are right, don't come crawling to me telling me I'm a genius, because I am. I'm just saying.
We're not going to.
That's fine.
Not at all.
That's fine, boys.
It's kind of frowned upon too.
Just understand that I'm going to be right.
We shall
Your
see.
Cardinals have nothing.
Oh, dude. Excuse me? We have plenty. We're going to win the division, and when they do, I'm going to send a picture of my nuts because fuck you guys, you can suck them. Because I will not stand for this Cardinal slander. It's ridiculous. You guys just think we're some average team. I will suck off my own team, okay? They're my team.
I do it too. It's okay.
Yeah, but it's the Braves. They're just a natural team to hate on.
No, this team won 14 straight division titles.
No biggie.
Once in a lifetime.
No World Series to show for it.
No, they got robbed by infield fly rule that happened in the outfield.
Wow. You guys will not let go of an infield fly rule.
It was a third of the way into the outfield.
Yes.
Like, how are you going to tell me that's an infield fly?
It was in the grass.
I don't know, man. I wasn't calling.
So if you don't think that was the wrong call, then you have.
I don't because we ended up winning a World Series because of it. And guess what? I don't remember that about that World Series run. What I do remember is David Freese hitting a home run to dead straight center field in Game 6 to send us to a Game 7, which we eventually won.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's fine. Sucks that you guys are always on the wrong side of history.
I think he got us there.
Definitely a slow burn. Really slow burn.
I'm not going to stand up to this Cardinal slander anymore. I just can't stand for it. And yes, I will preach that I am the most intelligent sports talker on this show. Just because I know enough about all the sports that I'm not specialized. Drew is
specialized. With no sheep, people. Whoever is watching this, those people in the grandstands, He is a shepherd with no sheep.
No, I have plenty of sheep.
No.
Just Drew is focused mainly in baseball. You're mainly in college football and football. And I'm basically
baseball.
And baseball. And baseball. I will not disrespect you. But then in everything else, I'm solid. I'm never going to be the smartest guy in the room except when it comes to hockey. But other than that, I'm also not an idiot when I talk about all the other sports.
The Penguins are the greatest team on ice anyway, so.
Nope,
Huh?
Thrashers.
Huh?
The Thrashers.
What are you talking about the greatest team on ice, bro?
Huh?
Huh?
Nothing.
Repeat it. If you got balls, repeat it.
I said the Penguins.
Wow. That's the most generic white person answer I've ever heard in my entire life.
That's just the only team I could think of off the top of my head.
Penguins have also been around since the 40s and 30s. They were one of the original 6 teams, I think.
So yes, the greatest team on ice, and I wasn't wrong.
No, the greatest team on ice probably has to do with the Montreal Canadiens.
Intelligence, Drew.
No, dude.
You see all that?
2003's Thrashers were kings on the ice.
Exactly.
We need to end this show before you guys drive me nuts. I swear.
I think we already have.
Y'all are questioning my intelligence, and I'm not having it right now.
No, we're calling out your bullshit.
What bullshit, dude? I came out. I'm the only one with balls to come out with hot takes that are smart and intelligent. You came out saying the Detroit Tigers are going to win the AL Central. That is the most dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. That next to the Browns winning a Super Bowl.
I never said that.
Oh, but you're thinking it.
No, not at all.
Cleveland, everything. I'm over here giving out intelligent takes and taking out hot, intelligent takes. Drew's over here taking the smartest baseball route possible, and I'm over here taking hot takes. I'm smart enough.
Those are not a hot take. It's not.
Rangers, White Sox.
No, the Rangers are a logical take. What?
You telling me
with their brand new pitching staff?
Yeah, but you still got the Angels, the Astros.
The Angels. What have the Angels picked up? The Angels. I'll give you the Angels as a hot take. That's one. And the only reason they're relevant is because Mike Trout. They've got nobody else. They've got that dude in left field. You keep diving. Oh yes, Shohei Ohtani. I'll give you that one. But the only other dude that's relevant is the dude who catches dives.
He's not even on that. He's not even on that team anymore.
Right field.
I think he left. Nate Cole Calhoun left.
Yeah, he's in Diamondbacks.
He's a Diamondback now.
Oh, they're not even that relevant anymore.
Texas Rangers is a hot take.
They have
It is.
Pujols.
Pujols is still on the Angels.
Yep.
Pujols is not relevant.
You telling me you're gonna pick? I picked the Rangers to beat the A's and the Astros out for the division. The A's have been to the wild card for feels like.
You have also said the only pitching staff that the Astros have is Justin Verlander. They have nobody else.
Yeah, I don't believe in Greinke.
Okay.
That's my strong opinion.
So you're going to take a decent hitting squad and a, for the most part, pretty stacked pitching rotation over. You think that's a hot take?
I think it's super spicy.
I think you're stupid.
Astros, I think it's a hot take. When the clear favorite is the Astros and 90% of America is saying the Astros, I think it's a fairly warm, hot take.
Because 90% of America is basing it on the names of recent years.
Yeah, that's the only thing that matters is recent years. I'm not going to compare it to a team that was from 6 years ago. Has to be within the last 3 because that squad is still intact. DJ, you're just upset that my logic is just smarter than yours. I'm going to be right. It's fine. I have been your host, Jacob Pro. We're ending this on my note. I've been your host, Jacob Pro, the Spinnaker Swiss Army Knife, and office aficionado, Drew McDonald. And I'm going to personally exile back to the island if he doesn't give me the respect I deserve. Your girl's favorite DJ, DJ McCatherine. We have been the Pen. Hunter, get your ass back on the show. You're exiled next. Love y'all.